Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're so excited to bring you some training about sales. A lot of business owners, and I've been guilty of saying it too, saying, I hate sales. And a lot of people, they just feel like they get this physical reaction when they start to try to ask someone to give them money for the thing that they do or make or deliver. And it's not a good feeling. So we want to address some of that today and help you feel more confident when you are in a sales conversation, or even if you're at this point more confident even scheduling a sales conversation, because you can be in business and you can be very busy and you can never have a sales conversation with someone, and you won't understand if you're doing those things. It'll be hard for you to understand, why don't I have any money? I'm working so hard in my business. And I can tell you that from personal experience. Very busy a couple of years ago, very busy, and didn't have the cash flow that I wanted. And so, of course, I've been studying it. I've partnered with some people that you're going to see today. We're going to have 3 speakers today, including me, and they're going to talk about different ways that you can be thinking about sales in your company. So, not just the traditional, I have a product, I have to advertise, you find my advertisement, you buy my product. So there's a few other different unique things that you can do, and you might find that, oh, I'm a lot more comfortable with this method than I am the traditional method. So we're going to get started. I'm going to share some slides with you today. So we're going to teach for about an hour, and then we're going to do Q&A. And we'll even just take Q&A all in between. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we will be able to address that even while we are during the presentation. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Hit the wrong button. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Now, we're going to be covering how to maximize your holiday sales promotion. So if anyone hasn't heard, Black Friday is coming. It's later on this month. And this is such a great, perfect opportunity for your business to receive a good, healthy influx of money and new leads and customers who could all become a lifetime customer, right? So they're looking for a deal, and you can find something that you offer that you can offer for a really great price. We're suggesting 50% or more, if you can, discount. That's what the consumers are looking for. Depending on your business, you're not going to be able to do that. But as long as your ideal client feels like it's a steal and they're excited about it, they're going to grab it, right? So then here's the thing to think about when you're thinking about a Black Friday special. Everybody's heard about you can buy leads, right? Yep, right. So that's you paying money for people, strangers, to maybe buy your product, maybe become a prospect for you, right? Well, we're just going to turn it on its ear, and they're actually paying you for the privilege of becoming your prospect and possibly becoming a lifetime client. So a lot of people, they shy away from, and they say, I don't want to put a deep discount on something that I offer. But you're getting paid, and you're getting paid by a hot lead who really wants what you offer, and they're raising their hand and saying, I'm your ideal client. I'm right here, right here. So you're getting paid to get new leads when you have, and it's not just for Black Friday. It could be Valentine's Day. It could be New Year. It could be a sizzling summer special. It can be any time of the year for any reason, anniversary. You can run a special anytime, and every single time you do it, you're getting paid to get new prospects. So if you think about it that way, it's worth all of the work and the thought that goes into trying to figure out how you're going to do it yourself. So, oh, okay. Okay. So we have the slides advancing in the room here, but they're not advancing on the video. So we're just going to look at that. It didn't go forward to the next slide. Didn't have to be that way. Oh, fantastic. All right. So we do have a nice IT expert in the room here. So now I will tell you, it's very nice to meet you. I'm Rita Thomas. I am the mom of two amazing adults, and they're in this picture. And I chose this picture in particular, not just of them, but of coworkers and friends and neighbors and even Air Force buddies that really bring so much richness to my life along with my children. And so that's the joy of my life is literally all the people that I know. So I wanted to share my children with you that way. And so they each have two children. So I had a boy and a girl, and my boy had two boys, and my girl had two girls. And so these four, I'm their Oma. And of course, as you can imagine, they are the biggest joys in my life. I'm an Air Force veteran. So there's that fresh face, 19-year-old ready to take on the world in basic training right there. And in fact, yesterday I got to be in the Veterans Day Parade on the Women Veterans Float, and that was a blast. And my son, who also was in the Air Force, he rode his motorcycle behind our float and was part of our group. And he drove up from South Georgia just to do that. So, so I'm an Air Force veteran. I got to go to Monterey, California. There's a language school out there, and I got to learn Czechoslovak. And so I was a translator in my Air Force career, and that was amazing. And I got to live in Germany. And both of my children were born in Germany. Yeah, you're very welcome. It was an honor. So I had 12 years in business as a professional photographer, and I had a full-time job the whole time. And as you can imagine, I did not run my business very well, partly because it took me 12 years to figure out how to quit my day job, and partly because when you do have a full-time job, it's just really that much harder to run a business, right? And so today, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I am a KEEP certified partner, and that is a software system, and I'm now seeking certification as a Go High Level certified as well. And so that means I'm your partner in automation. In the first 6 months after I bought the software to run my business, the company said to me, hey, you can be a certified partner, recognize my ability and aptitude for the software. So I became a certified partner, which means that I can serve customers. I can run your whole system and or teach you how to run your system as well. So I have excellent reviews, and I'm a trusted advisor for 24 KEEP and Go High Level account users. So my purpose in my company, Rita Thomas Enterprises, is to put an end to the statistic that 80% of businesses fail. I firmly believe that one of the biggest reasons for that is because the owner of the company, one single person most of the time, is trying to touch every single client at every step of their journey. And it becomes overwhelming, and it just will wear you out. And you're not doing it very well because you're trying to manage way too much information. So we want to get the right tools in the hands of business owners so they can thrive and not just survive. That's what I'm all about, and that's why I have these workshops, and that's why I run my business and help business owners. So we're talking about your holiday promo, whatever it is that, well, let's just do a little brainstorming. Okay, so you're a money coach. So you charge for your time, right? So could you offer, I'm not gonna ask you how much you charge, but let's say you charge $200 an hour, let's just say. And so outside of your guidance, you might have a system or some forms and checklists and worksheets that are helpful to them, to discover where they are and where they're going. So if you could combine all of those, your system, with a consultation, put them together. Well, so you charge $200 an hour for your guidance. Those forms are worth, let's say, $100 because your expertise created them. So that's a $300 package. So maybe if you could sell that for Black Friday if you sold it for $99, that'd be about 1/3 of, so it'd be a 66% discount. And I think people might scoop that up if they're in the right frame of mind and they know, and it's the end of the year. So they don't want to go into 2025 with the same mindset around money and the same revenue roller coaster in their business. So they might say, oh yeah, that's exactly what I need. She's in my head. Like she knows what I need. You got a camera in my office, right? And it's only $99. I'm going to snap it up. So you're getting paid $99 for something you normally would charge $200. And you're getting all those people that are raising their hand and saying, I'm your ideal client. I want what you offer. And let's make an appointment. Here's some money. So that's how you fill your calendar and you get paid. So let's do another one. You do sound healing. Oh gosh, that's so great. What can you combine with that? Like, do you also do aromatherapy?
Yeah, I also do nervous system regulation.
Nervous system regulation, that's what she said in case you know. Nervous system regulation and sound bath therapy, all right? So what I couldn't even guess what these things are worth. So what are they worth?
Let's say 500.
Together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one session of I forgot what it's called.
Sound healing.
Well, sound healing, but the other thing, nervous system regulation. Man, it sounds like something I would like to have. Some days are kind of like, right? So let's say they're worth $500. And do you have to travel to the person to deliver this, or how does that work? Do you bring people in a group, or?
Yeah, it would be a group.
It's a group. And so do they come to you, or
I go to them.
you go to them in a group, but locally, like you,
Yeah.
so you can drive there easily. So this is $500 per person in a group setting.
Not per person. It's more of like the group or somebody around 500, or maybe like 5.
Okay, so let's say 5. We'll keep it at 5. And it's $500 for a group of 5. That's fantastic because almost anyone who would hear your message and say, "Ooh, that sounds great," they know 4 more people. Their inner tribe, right? Their bestie friends. And they can get girlfriends together for this few hours in the evening of girl time, right? And so how much do you think you could do that for and make it really a great special for them? Well, here, it's okay. It's all right. I know it's hard because, well, you charge 500, and my understanding is you don't really have any expense outside of your energy and your experience and your knowledge. Is that right? You don't have to buy things to do this with?
I don't buy things, but I mean, fees and all the.
Oh, to be certified?
No, pay business tax.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, to run your business.
All the things, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, and I was thinking if you come to my house on Tuesday, there's no direct cost to you except for driving to my house. Okay, so aside from, of course, the years of experience, their certifications, all those things that you have to pay for. So could you do half? Could you do one of those sessions for $250? Right, because now you're getting 5 leads. You're not just getting 1 lead, you're getting 5 leads. And of course you're going to get all their information. You need to, this is part of when you do any kind of a special, you need to get at least their name and email. You want their phone number if you can get it, because then you want to be able to follow up with them in the future. So let's say you were able to schedule 5 of those through the holiday season. You would get paid, here we go, the $1,250, but you would have 25 possibly new, maybe 20 new ones, because you might know the one that's scheduled from each group. New prospects and people that are paying attention to you, and now you can communicate with them and offer them more things and private one-on-ones. You can build your business this way in the holiday season. How does that feel? Does it feel like you're giving away the farm? Okay, all right. What do you think?
Yeah, the idea around Black Friday is to create micro offers that allow the person to try you out. So in your situation, what I might do is I might offer a one-time, but then sell a package where once a quarter you're going back into that office or back into that girl's community, that women, that community, right? Because the goal is, the way the micro offer works is that you have to be looking at the larger goal.
Mm-hmm.
If your signature product is a $500 event, then what can you do to entice somebody, to give them a taste of it? Is there a mini? Do you add a bonus? Do you take away something and just say this is a chance to really see how it feels, and then just to offer them, how do you get them to buy more, right? That's the idea behind somebody like you who's in I don't want to say transactional space, but in a transactional space, right? Where you really don't want it to be a transaction. You want to create a relationship, but you have to be able to, they don't know that they need sound healing. They don't know what it even is, right? They're not sure who in their organization or community might benefit from it.
True.
So that's another way of looking at it, is what's a micro offer.
Right. And in this example, a micro offer could be, instead of you going to them, you host it on Zoom, and it's 20 minutes instead of
or you host
2 hours.
In a place. Here you find a salon or a retreat space or something, and you do it where you're bringing all the people in.
Yeah, and maybe it's the first bit of relaxing, and then you can say, look, if you like that, you're going to love the next thing I have, and let's get you on the schedule for the $500 thing. So you give them a taste. It's almost like that piece of chicken on the end of the toothpick in the mall, right?
Or Costco, you can eat it
Yeah.
your meal walking.
That's true. That's true.
Some days it's true.
So are you picking up on what you can do with a Black Friday special? And Abigail's really hit the nail on the head, because you don't just want to sell them something for a low price on Black Friday. You want to start a relationship that's going to have them wanting and needing your product ongoing, bringing friends to you, bringing more people to you. So anybody want to run by theirs too? No? Okay.
So we do heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, and there's a lot of accessories that we could do, something for a special, and sometimes we have. I guess our biggest challenge is, without spending a lot of money, how it's the best way to get the word out
Mm-hmm.
to the masses. So, because it doesn't matter if you have this great deal if nobody knows about it.
Well, and delivery on yours is really tricky because you do have to drive to their house. So if you think about this, we got these parts of town. Let's say there's just 3 parts of town, right? And they're dispersed enough that you don't want to be going bouncing through all these different parts of town every day, wasting gas, wasting time of your drivers. So when somebody says, "Oh, I want your special," you're going to do a complete 9-point inspection or 27-point inspection for $15. I know I'm probably being ridiculous, but just pick a price. And then when they say, "I want that," you say, "What's your zip code?" Then you say, "We're in your area on this day. We're in your area on this day. We're in your area on this day. And then how about this time?" That way your truck is just staying in this area, and not zigzagging all over town.
To answer the question though about marketing inexpensively, that's where automation is in.
Yeah.
Because you should be marketing to them 365 days a year. Right, so you should have a database of your electric clients, your HVAC clients,
Mhm.
and your plumbing clients. Those are the 3 categories, right? So what I would do is I would, first of all, segment and have general home maintenance things that go to the entire 3 pockets,
Mhm.
right? The second thing then I would do is I would take the plumbing and the electric and, I would market the HVAC services, right? So you want to cross market because you have, you don't necessarily want to go back to a plumbing client and plumbing stuff.
Right, and most of our customers we're mainly HVAC, plumbing and electricals new. So by and large, the people that are plumbing are almost exclusively, we already have their heat and air. And so we're trying to market plumbing and electrical to them and spread the word.
Perfect. And they already trust you. And they've
Right.
already paid you money. That's fantastic.
But an inexpensive way besides emailing, which is still, I think, the most inexpensive way to,
Well, I'll tell
and
you,
most effective.
yes, it is the most effective, even though a lot of people say in this room, they might say, "Oh, I don't like those emails when people send them to me." Is that right? Am I hearing that?
Yeah.
That's okay.
But if
Because-
they just got a $400 electric bill,
Yeah,
they
And then-
might be saying, you know what?
your email pops up.
Your email is going to be relevant. to
So,
them.
and email marketing, we're going to get into it a little bit later, and you're totally in control of how many you send, how often, and what is said in them, so it's not cold and robotic.
And you own the
and-
platform.
And you own the platform, yeah. So something I was going to say about that is, we'll get back to it because we're going to cover email marketing.
But I would also tell you that fairly inexpensive is postcard mailers.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
By zip, you can do, if you go into neighborhoods that are 20 years or older, they
True.
may, you can identify those by zips.
Yeah.
And yes, there's an expense to it, but you're at least targeting them. You're not just sending it to all of Knoxville, but to those older communities.
So every door direct mail.
Go ahead.
program.
Also, if you're doing social media marketing, you can point down the site. You can go in and say, a homeowner is in, you don't even go to Blount County, you can go right down to a specific Hardin Valley looking for X. As a product, contact us, we're here on your day. You can target and it costs a little bit more the tighter you target, but if you know that you're going to be in that specific area doing that specific thing, you want to get more clients in that area that aren't already part of your network. Being able to do that, you can do that with not only with a new client with new interest, but you can take the database you already have, create a lookalike audience that are already in that area, upload that. So now it's looking for everybody that has the same interests and targets that are relevant to the customers who have already spent money. And they pull, I don't know, some 100 different types of metrics that they pull from. And then you can now just pinpoint specific counties, specific cities, specific areas. Very efficient.
And you can borrow competitive,
You can borrow
you can
that.
borrow competitive names as well.
Yeah, any of the larger companies will have what we consider as also interest in that same category of demographics. You can say, I want anybody who has an interest in that you believe is relevant to your.
Yeah, another, what I was going to say a minute ago that it slipped my mind is email marketing has a 44-to-1 return on investment. You don't have to pay very much at all to have email marketing. You need to have a domain that creates your email, and you need to pay for some IT structure to keep it secure, and that's it. You can send emails for free, and so even if you spend $1, then you're going to get $44 back. That's statistically true. If your subject line is attractive and your
Content is
offer is,
relevant,
yes,
right.
and you're sending to the right people, but 44-to-1, no other marketing avenue has that kind of.
No high level is.
It is.
Crafting it and setting up your email automation, back end with SMS automation in there. It's fantastic if you do the automations. Really effective.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say I think most successful on social media is referral marketing. So you use your testimonials to build, have them post the testimonial. Because in a lot of I know I live up in Greenville, so we've got a couple of different Greenville groups. You could not promote in Greenville, right? I'm assuming you did business there. But if I said I need a electrician, you could then go and respond in that group. Or if somebody just said, kudos to Jared and his team at your company, they just did A, B, or C, that's going to give you some mileage, because then you can share that in other places.
Yeah, and you can screenshot that and use it. You can just literally share it. Yeah, use it in your emails. And that is 100% very effective and perfectly well accepted. You're not, there's no taboo about it. These people are shouting about you on the rooftops, and you're just saying, hey, look what this person said about us. So, so referral is, as you can imagine, you probably ask your customers already for referrals. You can run a whole reward system around referrals as well, and then they can get money off, or they can get their next inspection free if they refer 3 people. You don't want it to be something that the homeowner has to work and calculate and use brain work, but you just track it for them and say, oh my gosh, thank you. Look, you just won this great thing because you referred people to us. So here we go. We're going to look at some of the things you want to do before once we've decided what your promo is going to be, then you want to look at some of these things. So you want to make sure your website is current and that it works. So click all the buttons on there, make sure everything works. Make sure that your website is updated often. When I say often, weekly is ideal. And you don't have to change the website. You can just swap a picture out for a different picture. You can change some wording in a headline. But Google and the other ranking search engines on the internet, they're looking for websites that are relevant and that have been updated recently. So make sure your website loads fast too. If you, and here I'm preaching to the choir here, any other ideas about the website?
A lot of misspelled things, a lot of broken links, like you mentioned earlier. Also, a lot of the content on there is not for you. It's really for all the algorithm scanning website. So the more is the better. I don't like pages that are 30 pages long with just one slide. Some of that content, as long as it's relevant to your business, will help you rank a lot of ways to optimize.
So,
It's got to be mobile ready.
Oh, absolutely. There's it's not necessarily new, but it's becoming very important that it has to be handicap accessible. And it used to be quite a few steps for you to go through to make sure that your website was handicap accessible, but now we have a tool that you can easily write it down in the corner, and anyone with a handicap will know to look for it. And they can pop that open and then select the things that they want. If they have low vision and they need it to be brighter, or if they I don't know if I can think of any more, but there's several things on. Yes, it'll narrate what the screen says. So making sure it's handicap ready and what was that thing? Handicap ready was the second one.
Closed caption.
Yeah, closed caption on videos.
Mobile.
Oh, mobile ready. That's so huge. More than 80% of website views are on a mobile device, a phone or a tablet, and they both show it the same way, and it's different than the way it shows on a desktop. So make sure that your website is mobile ready. Here we go.
The updating weekly, if you upload blogs, does that count? Or
Yes.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's actually the most efficient way to bring new information on your website where it's relevant. You're not making changes just for the sake of making changes.
Yeah.
That won't take away from what you've already built in the algorithm. It'll actually just add.
Yeah, in fact, that's the very next subject. So a blog goes on your website, and that is the hottest, best way to get more attention from viewers and more attention from the algorithms. And mostly when we say the algorithms, we're talking about Google. Google is the king. And whatever Google wants is what we want to give Google. Because if we rail against the system, you can do that all day long and shake your fist and until you give Google what it wants, then you're going to start to get ranked. And that means then you're going to be shown to people who are looking for you. So blog, though, it used to be 500 words would be how long your blog should be, but is that still current?
That depends on the site, actually.
Okay.
Depending on the provider or how you set the site, there's certain limitations, others on that.
Yeah, and I'd heard 1,500 words now is what you want your blog
Often
to be.
I would say
1,500. Now,
Here's the thing though with the blog, if you do intro, 3 points, recap.
you're going to be,
1,500.
yeah,
And
because
then
you know
you
what you're
have
talking
content for the rest of
about,
the
you're
week.
giving examples, right?
Utilize ChatGPT for something like that if you're not a great grammaster. If you could write 500-600 words, you need to get 1,500. You literally copy and paste and say, can you write this in? Make it 1,500 words with embellishments and, add, keyword, make it keyword rich for this, my business, which services X, A, B, and C. And you'd be surprised what that can pump out for you and make a very efficient blog in your voice because you've already given it.
Exactly. Yeah, so two things there. We're going to touch on keywords, and that is very important. So let's say, in your business, you're a money coach. So there are several different subjects that you teach about. But in each blog, you want to focus on one of them. And you use that one several times, not too many times, because then they don't want you keyword stuffing and putting it in every paragraph or every third sentence. But you want it maybe 3 or 4 times in the blog, that same keyword phrase. And it would be a keyword or a keyword phrase is something that people will be searching for. So think of their pain when they're in that pain and they need you. What is it that they're going to search for? And that would guide you towards a keyword.
One other thing I recommend is when we're talking about the length of the one, I do recommend alternating between the short one and the long one because there's people, I see long text, moving on.
Yep.
You're going to miss out on all those people that are looking for, I want to know the answer in 3 to 5 sentences. If I don't see something longer than that, then I will.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'll Google search.
You're competing for an attention span of about 1.9 seconds these days.
So,
Yeah.
right, when you Google something now, you've probably seen this in the past 6 months. You got AI now giving you the actual answer, probably off several websites. If you give shorter answers, you have a higher probability of including that and then getting that.
Yeah. And if your blog, if anyone's ever written a press release, the hottest, most important information's right there at the beginning because they might not read past that at all. And then further explanation of whatever it is. And then at the very bottom is, some history about the company or whatever and the person's contact information. But whoever's reading it might only read those first 5 or 6 sentences. So you want to get your point across there, then you embellish on it, and then you go even further if you're going to.
Actually, I can jump in on this. What's also important that's overlooked, especially when doing blogs, same thing with pages. is those meta tags in the back end. If the description of the page or of that particular blog page, those actually make a huge difference as well in those crawlers.
Yeah, the crawlers and the links, internal links and external links in your blog are gonna feed those crawlers. So the crawlers are out there on behalf of the algorithms, the search engines.
One thing we put a blog out there, and I'm revamping my website as well. We put a blog and take that blog and share it to Facebook, share it to
Mhm.
that creates all those backlinks.
Always from the same source.
Right.
Right.
It all leads to, the point is that those backlinks, even if nobody's clicking on them, it's still fed in the Google algorithm. It shows you are spidering out further and therefore have a bigger presence. You can higher ranked.
Name of that, let's say, a site that rates, I had a site, it rates everything from your speed, backlinks, broadlinks, all
There's
that.
a handful. Some of them I would say are paid for to be inaccurate. There's some speculation there.
Interesting.
There's a Google tool you can actually get. You can use Google's tool, it'll tell you where Google is.
Right.
Then there's other companies that will shed more light as far as give you more context.
Google will show you the internal links.
Yeah, it'll give you some analytics to a point.
I think I was using it before Google. developed that.
Can you clarify, share to, like, just walk me through what you're doing? Say, like, share that blog to others. Are you talking about sharing a link? Are you talking
Sharing a
about
link.
posting it?
Sharing the direct link to the blog, to the overall blog, or a direct link to that particular blog, that entry.
You want to share it to Google and Facebook, like you just mentioned.
Oh, you go into that particular blog or that page itself, whichever one you're trying to. I recommend the individual blog, but that could be different now. But you'll actually pull the URL and share that URL. Do not use Bitly, do not shorten it, don't do anything. Because at the very top, you won't have that back end, all the extra characters at the end. It'll be yourwebsite.com/blog/ and then the name of that particular blog. That's the one that you want to share. You want to have an unimpeded direction from Facebook, from Instagram, not Instagram, sorry, that's not LinkedIn, but from
No, you can do it on
LinkedIn.
stories.
Oh, you can go to stories
Because
now.
that's, I always make sure I share the URL because I try to get traffic to my site. So I'm on stories when I'm doing blogs. But here's the link or.
Now, all of those, as long as you want it to, don't always have to be permanent, but you want it to be something that's permanent. Goes on LinkedIn and never comes down. Goes on YouTube,
Yeah.
never comes down. Those ones you want because the length of time that those links are engaged, the length of time that those are there is, it, again, all helps in that algorithm, all helps in that ranking. It sees that it has combinations, not that they're coming and going, because they'll never be. They'll never even be scraped. Is that the word
Yeah.
they use now?
Mhm.
And when it does the time scraping, it'll never pick up the ones that are on those disappearing rails. Is that still a thing on this?
Oh, are you saying like, oh, okay, like if you share it to something that's.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So those ones you
I
want
got
to
it
but you want to have them.
It does grade them by age, and if the link's really old, it'll give it a lesser weight. But if that link is still clicked to this day, because people still go back to it, it'll keep its value. That's the difference. But when you're sharing something, you should share the link with a snippet of the title of your blog. Don't include all the content. You want to make sure you give it to your page.
Right.
Ultimately, you don't want to just put the link and nothing else, then they don't know what it is.
Good
That's why
point.
you see a lot of them, like, I just found out the secret way to lose 17 pounds of fat that it only took a couple. And then,
You're not going to believe number 3.
Guess I won't find out.
yeah, that's actually, so I just keep going. But that's what it means, like you give something like that, it entices them to click the link. Even if they click the link, look at it, I think it has to be on the page for that 3 seconds or so for it to be counted as an actual link, as an actual click. That you've done your job, you brought them to the site, they're either going to read it or they're going to look at it, oh, I thought this was something different, max it out. Either way, chances are by the time they figure that out, you've already got your value
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the crawls.
How digital is it?
All right, so we're going to check your website, check everything on it. We're going to start writing a blog, and then we got a lot of great advice on that. You want to all be paying attention to your SEO, search engine optimization. We've already touched on that with some of the advice that we've given. That advice is search engine optimization, because how we've said it is those search engines are looking for this. They're going to find you this way. They're going to value this activity. That's the search engines that we're talking about. So SEO is an entire week, seminar, retreat, workshop, lock the doors. I mean, there's so much to it. And as soon as you learn it all, it'll change, right? But what it means is SEO is things you can do to make the search engines find you and send people to you when they're searching for what you do. And so, again, now there's on-page SEO and off-page SEO. So on-page SEO is what you do on your website. So, for example, those backlinks we were talking about and those blogs that have the keywords in the blogs, those kind of things, that's on-page SEO because it's on your website. But the off-page SEO is some of those things where he said you're sharing it to all these other places, Facebook, and it spiders out. That's off-page SEO. So it's things that drive people to your page. So SEO is a bottomless well of information, and don't be intimidated by it. And it is one of the things that generally people will hire someone for, because the business owner, if it's not your forte, not your zone of genius, you can spend a lot of time, energy, and focus on this thing and be losing out on a ton of revenue where you could be spending your time getting new customers, serving your customers, and pay someone a smaller amount of that revenue to manage that for you. So this is one of the things that people will outsource. Oh yeah.
I think too, what happens is a lot of people come up with the offer, right? And then they don't have a lot of the other things in place that make the offer fall flat. So,
and then they think they have a bad offer.
And then they think they have a bad offer, or the pricing is wrong,
Right.
or they're just not good enough, or
Yes.
the 18 monkeys that are in your head.
Exactly.
So the idea, I think that's beautiful about today, is to take a look at the fact that you want to have all your ducks in a row before you bring the bread to the ducks so that you can feed them, right? You want to have this, if you need to take a look at your website, you need to take a look at the SEO, you need to take a look at those things, because then when you make a new offer, micro offer, big offer, Black Friday offer, I don't care if it's Tuesday in December offer, right? It doesn't matter. The other parts of it are not going to sabotage the success of the offer. So in a marketing world, which is where my expertise is, you always want to be able to keep the chances of failure to a minimum. So you have to know that the other pieces are in place, because then well, is it the message? Is it the offer? Is it the price point? Is it the audience? Is it the timing? Is it the tech? Is it the platform? Right? So those are, I think, some of the things to be aware of as we're going into what we consider to be a selling season. So that's just my 2 cents.
That's a great soundbite
If you
too.
don't have a KPI tracker, this is 100% what you're saying will make your life a heck of a lot easier. Your key performance indicators, that'll help you figure out, is it my audience?
Exactly.
Is it the interest I'm targeting? Is it when they go to the website, where are they falling off? What page are they falling off of?
Mm-hmm. Go High Level does that. Another thing I love about Go High Level, it was when you design your email sequence and you're inviting people to purchase something, it will feed you exactly the right way to A/B test, which is this subject line is A, this subject line is B, and it's built right in there, so you don't even have to know that much about it. But you change one word or just a little bitty piece of it, and you find out, oh, people really like this a lot better. So then you stick with that. You don't say that other thing. Then what you look at maybe what's inside, message inside. So you A/B test that, and then you go, oh, people like this better than that. So marketing, I follow Alex Hormozy on YouTube, and one of the funniest things, and so true, that he says is marketing is a 9-letter word for test. And, you know, anyone that's done any marketing, you have to, you got research, do your best guess at what you think is going to move the people to the right, or not the right decision, but to a decision, and then test it and say, oh, that worked great. We'll keep doing that. Oh, that didn't work very well. Let's go back here and try this instead. Oh, that didn't work. Let's go back here and try this instead. But when you're doing A/B testing or you're checking to see if something's working, just change one thing at a time. So think about when you have the little baby, and you've probably heard if you don't have your own, but they tell you just give the child one new food at a time, because if they're allergic to anything, you'll know exactly what it is. But if you give them 9 different foods all in a 3-day period and they're allergic, you're going to have to start over and figure out what it is. So the same thing with marketing. If you change 9 different things in your email and your engagement goes through the roof, you're not going to know what did it, right? So search engine optimization is something that you want to pay attention to. Local. And this is so true, even if you can serve people, anybody, anywhere. I can serve any client anywhere in the world, mostly in the United States. You probably can with IT, right? You're more local, I think, very specifically geographic area, wherever you can drive. And then you can serve people, probably a money coach, same thing. You're widespread. I don't know if you're nationwide, but trade bank.
Nationwide business consulting in 3 different countries.
Wow, he's totally international. So, but local is important to all of us, even if we can serve anybody anywhere. And this is where the Google becomes really, really important. Your Google profile. And you know how it feels like, well, if you know, you have to have a business bank account, you have to have a business license in your state, you have to have, and now I'm going to say you have to have a website, you have to have a telephone number that's separate for business. You have to have a Google business profile if you want to be successful in business. I believe that, because if you're using the internet to get local or faraway business and you are not a friend of Google and they don't know who you are, you've got a really tough row to hoe. And so a Google business profile, it used to be called Google My Business. So if you have one of those, you're good. That's something else that now, very recently in the past few weeks, they have said, we're going to prioritize people who have current, fresh Google business profiles. So not just your website, but now your Google business profile, you want to be updating that. Again, you can put up a new picture, you can maybe make a new link to your new blog. It doesn't have to be a major overhaul, but you want to do something with your Google business profile and your website pretty much weekly. I just put it on my calendar and I do something with it. The other thing is something about that. The Google, so local. You can use geocaching. Has anyone heard of that? Yeah, it's so cool. At first, when I heard about it, I thought it was pretty creepy. But let's say I own a cigar shop and there are 3 other cigar shops in my town. And so I can geocache these other cigar shops, which means I put a digital fence around those. You got to pay to do this. You put a digital fence around them. And then when somebody walks into that shop with their cell phone, they'll get an ad for your shop. When they walk into this shop with their cell phone, then they'll get an ad for your shop. And the same thing. And you can control, it doesn't have to be instantaneous when they walk in the door. It could be later that night or the next day. But you can target the customers of these other shops electronically. And I mean, does that sound creepy? Yeah.
I used to, but
Now,
I'm used to it.
I was thinking of Gerald earlier because we were talking about, you were saying he can reach out to the customers of his competitors, right? Online, that's a digital thing you can do. Also with geofencing, but they're not going to go to an HVAC business, but they might go to Home Depot. They might go to, if they're a homeowner that would fit your profile, a carpet store where they're going to buy flooring, right? What was that?
Home goods.
Home goods, yes, where they're going to, especially here's what I would do is target a high-end home furnishings, like Shea Designs or something like that, because you're going to attract the people who shop in that kind of store. They have more disposable income, so they're more likely to invest in their home. So you could geocache those stores. Now that, if it's a high-end design shop or furniture store, boutique thing, say 90 people walk in one day and only one of them would buy from you. But that's okay, because you're paying for the chance to reach them, right? So that's another thing you can do is that's falls under local. And so geocaching is, I still don't know how I feel about it. Kind of a sneaky way. But if you ever start getting ads, like if you go to Dick's Sporting Goods, or what am I trying to say? What's that big one? Bass Pro Shop, the really big one? And all of a sudden now you're getting ads for all the boats that you could buy, right?
It exists on social media now.
I know,
You
it
just went
does.
to Nordstrom and all of a sudden you're seeing Macy's ads.
Exactly. That's what, yeah. So that's what
I mean,
I know. Oh no, we really sunk ourselves here.
Almost immediate.
Oh,
Yeah, no, they don't.
oh, let's check. Let's look at our phones. See if we have ads on Facebook. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, that is frightening. That's frightening.
They're using their earbuds.
Getting high level advertising.
Yes. I got a StreamYard because I'm using StreamYard right now. So I have ads for StreamYard.
they don't love me. I have no
There's
ads.
Alex Hormozy.
Look at that.
So,
I have Sandra Parsons and Sandra.
I do,
And I
yeah.
have Sandra Yancey.
One thing I
Okay.
want to mention real quick in regards to like geotag and custom photos. So if you put a stock photo up that mimics your business model perfectly, but you didn't take that picture, it's not going to be the same value as if you took it. Because of every photo you take with your phone is tagged with geo signature of where you took it with the GPS coordinates.
Okay, and here's my question for that, because I'm a professional photographer. I use a real camera to take pictures, but I think it does record in the metadata on